Hello my friends, and thank you for being with me yet another month. Welcome to all newbies, and invite you to become a subscriber, because then you get notified when I'm live, and it gives you opportunity to kind of interact and bring your energy on board. Now, just a few quickie introductions. I still have my annual TAROSCOPES on sale. You get one for only $10 and all of them for $20. And I will continue during the April to have my speed up promotion. I am working very hard to kind of catch up with this, but for you it works that instead of like 3-4 weeks, now you're upgrading automatically to a week. So regular reading is becoming rush, and rush reading, which was 7 days, is becoming urgent. So from 7 to 3, and the urgent reading is not more 3 days, it is like 24 hours. So it's kind of awesome. I am doing my best, if you do the order for urgent before 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to actually do it the same day. But then again, sometimes I have to go and see my dad and I'm not at home. So but at that stage I'm going to send you an email saying the timeline for the urgent ones. Now guys, this is all there is. We still have Mercury Retrograde until the 15th, and then another 3 weeks for the shadow. So yay. How is your car going? How is your phone? Is it slow? Is your computer slow? What broke down? And I really hope it is not affecting you as much as it's affecting me. In any case, I'll be doing just regular tarot monthly, and then of course it's going to be revolving then to Lenormand and X spread shortly thereafter. Thank you guys very much, and please like, subscribe, and share this video, and you know that I love you. Hi Leo, and welcome to April 2018. It's already April. We are going in the second quarter of a year. So where do I start with you? Let me first tell you which cards you got. The bottom of the deck, 5 of Earth. In the recent past that is influencing the future is you, Fire Queen, reversed. Then in the center, we have the Wheel reversed, but then we have Earth Storm. Here we have 6 of Sea, Mercury retrograde. Hello, like any 6s, guys, when you see that will be Mercury, especially reversed. Then we have the Chariot, awesome card. Oh my gosh, like lately, all my readings in the last week, I'm seeing this card like with my clients, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this fits with you. Then you have imminently happening Sky Queen, Swords, 10 of Fire. Kitty kind of has to run away here or something, so we'll talk about that. The environment is the Priestess, and then hopes and fears you have Sea Tom, and the possible tangent would be Sky King, King of Swords. So, where do I start? Let me start with the center of your reading, right? Because you're a lion, and I always, with lions, connect with that big lion heart, right? And this is the heart of the reading, right? So the World card is really well portrayed in this deck. And we humans have tendency, well, especially in the developed countries, that we always want better and happier and nicer and everything is good. But even if you study rich people and famous and celebrities, it's just like not sugar and honey all the time anyway. And it's kind of like that Buddhist wheel of kind of like life keeps going on, and you know the kitty kind of like can actually spin it around. It's understanding that something that comes up has to come down, etc. But everything has its own advantages, no matter at which point you are. Especially when you're on the top, you kind of like forget that you can fall off the wheel. Now, the wheel being reversed, this is definitely talking about something karmic. It is like the cyclical kind of like a card. Maybe luck is not on your side. Maybe you feel down and out, because I'm seeing this kind of like over here, kind of reminiscing over past, reminiscing about past partners. This kind of like Six of Sea kind of like has this kind of feeling. And you know, this is how memory works. Luckily, works this way, because otherwise, with the trauma and all these things that we have to go through every day, we would never survive if it works any other way. It works that you feel the impact of the issue less and less and less and less as long kind of time moves on. That's why they say time heals. It doesn't heal everything, but it kind of does. It puts the cushion in it. But what starts to happen, because it's minimizing the negative parts, the other stuff is now almost like looking on an even keel, and it's not the case. So that's why when this card shows up, we are romanticizing past loves, but we are forgetting why we broke up. We are forgetting that it was a reason why that was this conflict, or withdrawal, or rejection, or this feeling of hurt, or even humiliation. I don't know if you ever watched Jerry Seinfeld. Elaine was like awesome with kind of portraying this when, I don't know, she had this boyfriend kind of like who was weird, not really on her level, but she kind of like had this like crazy attraction with him. So they would kind of like reunite, and then he was, oh, well, I still don't want children. And she goes, okay, then we are over. It's kind of like understanding that in every relationship, we have good parts and we have bad parts, and this is good to understand what you really need, what is kind of like giving you this cushioning soft spot to fall, right? Because it looks like to me you're like, look down, look at this kitty, why am I on the outside and everybody else is having a good time, because it's looking basically, look at that. In this particular thing, it almost looks like third party, which I cannot demonstrate with this fog that I'm showing you here. So let me just try to move it up a little bit and show you what I mean here. Look at what a kitty sees through the window. Sees the two lovers, nice and warm, and food and everything, and yet I'm cold and I'm alone, and what the heck kind of a thing, right? So not all of you guys, again, this is just a general reading. In a general reading, I'm picking up the energies, and as I just explained, usually negative energies come through stronger. If this is not you, just file it away. Kind of, it's as simple as that, because otherwise you are attracting this negative energy. So just let it bounce off your back, just like what they say, like the water off the duck's back. But I see that some of you are feeling like this. Maybe even issues with money and how to do it, and how do I go from here to here, what is my possibility. Generally, this card always means being left out in the cold and envying other people and not even seeing your own star, which is over here, right? So just because there is like kind of like downturn and kind of like a feeling that for some of you, because the Ten of Swords is here and even Sign of Swords, to make it even worse, maybe you have been betrayed. Maybe you have been like dumped. Maybe, you know, somebody forgot to tell you about the other party, or you have like extreme jealousy over some issue in a situation. So having said that, you're still reminiscing about this person for some of you. If there is not a person, and it looks like I have lots of people who kind of have the exes and I'm wondering about them, or the relationship is a little bit wobbly. So, but if you're single and a happy single, then you will be thinking about the times where you kind of like felt really happy, when you had like this first love. And this is kind of good, you know, like I like when people get children and they become children, And not that I like that they become children, because then you have like not one annoying thing, but you have like a whole bunch of them. But that the fact that you have to exercise that youthfulness, you have to put it in there, and that's kind of like really lovely energy about that, and kind of like stuff like that I think is going to happen. You will feel very protective over things. You have Earth Storm, and isn't this a lovely image? Oh my gosh, isn't this like something that really warms your heart, just like even when you look at it? So it is sort of like moving forward, guys. Maybe you felt like somebody collapsed you on the bottom, because both Ten of Swords feels like being cornered, right? Feeling like it's done, it's over. It's kind of like pushing into kind of like new direction, and kind of like, where do I go from this direction? And let's talk about this next, because you have the Chariot. So whatever happened, the fire in you is going to wake up. Sure, the Chariot generally is kind of like Cancer-like thing, but it's kind of like also talking about waking up. It's kind of weird actually what I'm noticing over here, and I'm going to show you this. And I don't know how come I didn't notice this before. Look at this. It's actually Lion here. So you know what, I am declaring this card as of this moment on. And what the heck is this? Are those the cats? Ooh, that's lovely. That's the way it should be. Look at this, the cat badges, the cat messengers. This is absolutely awesome card. And let's make this card into a Leo, because it makes sense. And also it has this like gorgeous sun, so I think it does make sense. Therefore getting the start. So actually I think you're waking up. I think you're able to shine again. I think you're able to comprehend that you don't have to have the strong pull on your environment. Being a fixed sign, you like to control your environment, and you think it's for the good of everybody, but the others might disagree with this. And you're kind of getting this reins in your hand, because you see the kitty is not really holding anything. The things are just like moving forward without much hesitation. This is not to say that this month you're not going to have some tricky parts here and there, right? Because look at this, Ten of Fire. At Ten of Fire is sometimes saying certain things just exploded in your face. A lovely image over here, like, get me out of here, I'm catching on fire. Maybe this is also telling me, because of Mercury retrograde, that you're going to get a bone and not be willing to let go of that. It's something is going to be so important, either a person or situation or basically like some kind of like attitude is going to be really important, right? So you kind of have to figure out which one you're going to keep and where, you know, is the best path to follow. Because this right now is just saying, look, sometimes you get derailed, and Mercury retrograde, welcome to it. You're obviously feeling emotionally derailed to the past, but you're going to also actually, believe it or not, make a big shift in how and where you go from this point on. Especially because it looks like there is some kind of level of silence on the outside for you. It is kind of very strange, because the High Priestess is somebody who kind of like almost like, I think you're being watched, because the Priestess is the one who kind of learns things on her own skin. So now I have two different informations for you, Leo. For the single ones, for the couples. Single ones are getting a love offer. This also can be applicable to anybody who is looking for one, possibly from an ex, and this definitely can happen. See, Tom is like somebody crawling back in your life, saying, I'm so cuddly, 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 just like rub my tummy, and then you rub me 3 times, it's time to scratch you. Be very careful. This is not something very serious. See, Tom is sort of like just a wink, nudge. You know, you hear from an ex, and ex says, hey, after like 2 years, hey, how are you? Like, you're getting the message on the Facebook, and you're like, oh my God, like, I mean, I was just thinking about you. And he goes, what's anything problematic with me just like wanting to say hello? And by the way, I have a girlfriend. So be very careful not to kind of like organize your wedding right away because this person is back. Kind of like take it for what it is and understand that this nostalgia that you're feeling looks like the vibrations are being sent out, really. And the fact that somebody's coming back, whether just to say hi and goodbye, it's acknowledgement of something that you did right, and just like look at it that way. Not sure what this refers to, but I'm seeing the Sky Queen and the Sky King, King of Swords and Queen of Swords. It is a couple that is no longer a couple, which I see here because that kind of like was you. Which one was where? This generally can be a judge. I don't know. Some of you maybe want to get some kind of like legal justification, because swords are kind of like interesting. They're kind of like in our head. They are words. But in your case, I don't think there are going to be that many words, not the ones that you need. You will try to generate some kind of motion, or the motion is just going to happen for you. It's going to be like, whoa, a flat tire or stuff like that. Literally like accident prone, like impossible in this card. Really, 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 guys, transportation is ill-fated for you this month. So be very and extra careful. Make sure you have air in your tires. You know, all the stuff that kind of like needs to be done, that I really, really want you to kind of like be okay. And then here, this is kind of really interesting. So whether these are just talking about situations, about something kind of like that kind of like went off the rail, and it's kind of like getting a better view or better understanding of situation, it's going to tell me that this month you're going to go through range from maybe going down, feeling down, devastated. For the couples, you kind of really are still standing on the sidelines, really willing to go forward and really kind of reminiscing, maybe even going forward, but it's not going to be a big jump. Like, you know, you're coming to the edge of the pool, but you're not jumping in. You're just like putting your little kind of like toe in it. Sort of like that kind of a thing, which is okay, because you see, both of these cards are ruled with the moon. And moon is talking about unknown. It can also talk about deception. And why deception? When we are in the moonlight, we kind of create pictures of the shadows or what are familiar to us. In psychology, we call it the Rorschach. I'm probably mispronouncing this. But this is kind of like where you focus to try to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. And our brain is like really, really good that way. Just like with forgetting the painful memories. So moon makes us believe that something is there that is not there, and vice versa. So it's generally suggesting do not jump to conclusions, right? And be careful with how you proceed. So in short, guys, maybe you're going to enter this month feeling a little bit down and out and like, oh, me, and why me, and maybe even feeling kind of betrayed, to be honest with you, and dumped and not reaching, like kind of like eager to move forward but not really sure how to. And then just like that, you're going to say to yourself, wait a minute, what's wrong with me? I just have to make the first step, you know, because the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, and one step is going to lead to another, and then very soon you're going to find yourself galloping and kind of like being in charge of the events that sometimes will kind of like explode in your face. But you know, it looks like you'll be getting some kind of clarity, and also a part of that road in April is going to be, gosh, you know, I have no clue where I'm going and what the heck is going on. Just keep going. That's all I can say. So let me see the Ten of Fire here. What is with the Ten of Fire? This is karmic month. So some things that need to be resolved, some issues that you have been encountering, it's a good month to resolve that, by the way. Look, this is pretty much the same card, constancy, just like Page of Pentacles. So it's saying, look, Rome was not built in a day. That's why you have all these boulders, and it takes time and effort to get them there. But keep at it. It's just like the same thing. And if you're being kind of like derailed, hello Mercury retrograde, just go for it. And also, just by the way, maybe some of you feel unattractive, so hair and stuff, do not do it during the Mercury retrograde. Just don't do it, because you'll regret it. Just live with it, you know. You get something, that a scarf or something that can kind of like in the meantime kind of like do something until the 15th, and then you're good to go. So let me see the Sky King. Why is that reversed over here? And why is this 5 of Earth here? Yeah, look at this. It could have been a third party situation. Look at this love, and maybe a younger woman that is involved in a situation. And just like I said, look at this. The kitty is looking at a couple celebrating. This is kind of like maybe your perception. Oh gosh, I have lost it to somebody over here, right? It is a feeling of a loss that basically it's not recognizing what you have. So sometimes, like, I mean, you know, sure, reality is that, you know, one is in the snow, one is in this inside kind of like sort of like apparent riches, but you always, the cats are known, and that's why I love cat tarot, land on their feet, and they have 9 lives, so that's kind of hard to beat. So let's see here. Oh, look at that. Was somebody married, guys? There was a jealousy, but also there was some kind of like really lucky break. You kind of like got a help which you kind of didn't expect, or you're going to get it. So this is telling me there is a couple that is no longer a couple, but it looks like there's like still thinking, and maybe so again, that's, I guess, Mercury retrograde. Some exes may crawl back and roll and show you their tummy again. Warning, as I said, take it for what it is. Don't make it much more than what it is, and see where it goes, because you're going to start seeing it differently. Only advice I would say here, because these are swords, this is a higher energy than your fire energy. Look at the actions. Look what this person is doing. Look at my dummy. I'm so sweet. I'm like pet their belly and just see if they do what they say they would do. That's going to be the best barometer for the future success. My dear Leo, I hope you like your reading, and I would love to hear from you, not only to me, but to everybody else. Comments are so helpful, so healing, and your comment might change somebody's life. And I didn't realize that my kind of like sometimes words can actually help others. So trust me, you can do that too. So I'm inviting you to do that. Whatever minuscule it is, just put your 2 cents in there. And to get your private reading, contact me via cattarot.ca and check specials, everything that I announced in the beginning. That would be great. And hopefully, please subscribe, and that's where you get your notifications, etc. And yeah, like and share, that would be awesome too. And until the next time, Leo, toodaloo. Bye.